So you found yourself at your ECOSPOT and you're ready to collect your biodiversity data. How do you get started? Well, first look at your area. Is it a big area like my exotic backyard? Maybe that's where your ECOSPOT is. I'm going to show you how to take a sample of that spot. Here we go. So how do you measure a sample? Well, what I'd like you to do is think about an area about 20 feet by 20 feet. One helpful tool might be a tape measure. And a tape measure could tell you exactly how far that is. But you're like, Mr. Harrison, you're doing too much. I don't have a tape measure. But another thing you have available to you is your shoe, your foot. And your foot, mine is about a foot. Maybe yours is a little less. You're about 10 inches. I'm going to show you a technique that you can measure out 20 feet by 20 feet. So one thing you can do is just walk 20 feet, 1 foot after another, kind of like the grannies do in the mall. Are you ready? Speed walking. All right, I marked my sample 20 feet roughly by 20 feet. Now if you don't need a piece of string, but I marked it with a piece of string so I kind of know where it is. You can see that white bucket is kind of the back end. I'm ready to start collecting some data. All right, because I'm in the lawn, the first place I'm going to look is down on the ground. And I can already spot 1, 2, and you can pull some of these out as long as your parents are okay with that. 2, grass, 3, species. What I'm going to do is just kind of walk a straight line and just see if I see anything different. Oh, found something. 5. That was a dandelion. Looking for different species. Now I'm not going to count this pine cone because it's not right in my, it's not a living plant right now, so or these leaves, so I'm going to keep going. All right, I got to the back of my line. Now I'm going to go walk a couple steps, and then I'm going to walk back straight across. So about 7-10 minutes later, here's what I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then if you look really closely, there's a clover, 6 species. It's only got 3 leaves. Not lucky today. And I was able to identify those just by looking at differences. So you see how this leaf is kind of round, it's kind of oblong shaped. It's not very jagged, and then you compare that to something like this dandelion, you can see those jagged leaves. So that's all I did. I got 6 species in my yard. But that's not all, because I also had a section here that extended into my pond. Remember, we were doing 20 by 20, and I measured and it went into that area. Let's see what we got there. All right, check this out. So in a little spot, maybe less than a tenth of my sampling area, I got over 20 species. This was an area I'm going to show you here close to my pond. You can see many of them are flowering species, probably habitat for pollinators. They could be some plants that have values, other values. They're absorbing carbon dioxide for sure. Lot more diverse than my yard. And probably more interesting. So you can take a look at the differences between my 2 spots here. I got my lawn on the right, and then you can see this area that's kind of gone into dormancy. A lot of these plants used to be flowering, but now they are no longer flowering. So this little spot, even though it was only in less than half of it, had 4 times more biodiversity than this huge area, this lawn, which I was pretty pleased to find 6 species. So what are you doing? You're going out and you're looking for differences, and don't forget to look down on the ground and look for the leaves and look for different patterns of those leaves. Good luck, and I'm really excited to see what you guys find.